uniform. It's never boring. I'm gonna take care of it.
You're a barbarian, a savage.
It's been the same monopoly man at the top of Wall Street for 1,000 years.
Wall Street's not the roller coaster. You are.
Morning, go-getters.
Today, I finally get a son.
Doesn't speak a word of English.
Right. No problemo.
Come in peace.
Frank will be the new Hobo Local spokesperson.
I haven't won the competition yet.
Welcome to the South Side.
We have the #1 show of late night, Deez and Mero, coming to Showtime in February. We gotta get us some new chairs. What about this?
Yeah. You want to make a baby? Yeah.
We should make the set look like Intake at Rikers.
Yeah.
Who would you like to have on the show?
First guest, kid's new baby, in utero interview. Who's doing that in late night? Nobody.
I'm a baby,
We can get guests to polish our shoes while we interview them. Boom. Let's go make a TV show.
Get it, man. And I'm taking this with me too, bro.
Bad baby mama, you can't take that away from me. I am always grinding cause my baby need to eat. Even when I'm gonna look the baddest that I be. Cause a mother is a mother, but a mother is a queen. I'm a baby mama and I don't want your drama. Focus on me and I'm focused on the dollar. Focus on my family, the reason I go harder. You not talking family, then you not talking nada. SMILF. Baby mother D the best. SMILF. I'm a baby mother, I'm a bad.
You know, certain fights motivate you differently. You know, in a fight like this, it motivates me so much just to push myself to the limit and just go in there and just give them all. Who wouldn't want to have a win like Manny Pacquiao on their record?
These two fighters have resumes that you're all familiar with. Both are multi-division champions, 8 divisions, 8 weight classes for Manny Pacquiao, 4 divisions for Adrian Broner, the youngest ever to do that.
It's going to be a tough fight. That's why I have to work hard and make sure that I'm well prepared for the fight in 100% condition. I love boxing. Boxing is my passion, and that's why I'm still here.
I just want to fight the best.
Welcome to the MGM Grand Garden here in Las Vegas as we are inside the Copperfield Theater getting set for Manny Pacquiao putting his welterweight title on the line against Adrian Broner. It all happens this Saturday on Showtime pay-per-view, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. Ray Flores joined alongside by the Hall of Famer Steve Farhood as we await the pre-fight press conference for Manny Pacquiao, Adrian Broner. Steve, it is fight week. Manny Pacquiao hasn't fought here in Las Vegas, and he hasn't fought here stateside in 2 years. Lo and behold, Pac-Man is back and ready to go.
You know, there's a tendency for fight fans to think this is some kind of return because Manny hasn't been here, as you said. In fact, he really hasn't gone anywhere. And if you judge by his last fight, we're still seeing Manny Pacquiao. He may be 40, but 40 isn't what it used to be. Look at Bernard Hopkins. So part of the appeal of this fight is how much can Manny still show us.
Well, with Manny Pacquiao, he is going on over 2 decades being a pro. When he turned professional, Adrian Broner was 5 years old. That just goes to show you how long Manny has been fighting at the world-class level.
You know, he's 40, yes. And 40, you look for signs. Are there signs of decline? Are there signs of slowing down the legs? The most important part of Manny Pacquiao's game. But really what's more amazing, Ray, is that he's been fighting 24 years. He turned pro as a 105, 107-pound fighter who was 16 years old, I believe, or 15 years old. So it's not only the fact that he's 40, it's that he's been fighting for 24 years, and he still seems to have it.
That's over half his life. Nearly 60% of Manny Pacquiao's life has been spent as a professional prize fighter. Let's look at the other side. Adrian the Problem Broner, 29 years of age, a 4-division world champion. But with Broner, This is the big one for him. He's never won that big prize fight. Losses to Mikey Garcia, losses to Sean Porter, Marcos Maidana, the draw against Jesse Vargas. Can he finally win that big prize fight? We'll find out on Saturday.
Well, you say, can he win? I think the answer to that is yes, he can win. And the reason we say that is because no one's ever doubted Adrian Broner's talent. The talent is there. Has he been an underachiever? It seems almost counterintuitive to say he's an underachiever when he's won titles in 4 divisions. But the fact of the matter is, because of his talent, he is an underachiever. And you know what? In boxing, it's really a cliche, but it's true. You're only as good as your last fight. This is the biggest fight of Adrian Broner's career, and if he wins it, if he happens to pull off the upset and wins it, well, then you forget about the Mikey Garcia fight, and you forget about the Sean Porter fight, and he's on top of the world.
Well, and speaking of Adrian Broner trying to be on top of the world, yesterday during the grand arrivals, when I asked him about what it's like being here in Las Vegas, he mentioned that he knows he's the underdog. And from a betting standpoint, Manny Pacquiao is a 3-1 favorite. Adrian Broner is almost a 2-1 underdog, over a 2-1 underdog. It seems like Broner is using that as extra motivation to fuel his fire for Saturday night.
Well, I think that's smart, and, you know, fighters who have chips on their shoulders usually do better. I want to prove you wrong. There have been many fights where Adrian Broner has been the favorite, Ray, and he hasn't produced what we expected. So the fact that he's an underdog here with perhaps little to lose might work in his favor. And Manny Pacquiao, I think the reason he's a 3-1 favorite is largely because of how good he looked against Lucas Matisse. But you know what? One fight doesn't necessarily translate over to the next fight.
Very true. Ray Flores alongside the Hall of Famer Steve Farhood as we await the pre-fight press conference, the final press conference between Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner this Saturday on Showtime pay-per-view from the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas. Steve, Freddie Roach told us last week during the open media workouts that you saw here on Showtime, on the social media of Showtime Sports, that this is the hardest he's ever seen and felt Manny Pacquiao hit. Do you think that is Freddie just trying to play up the fight, or do you really believe that Freddie feels that way?
Well, I think Freddie is echoing Manny's belief, which is he really does want a knockout. You know, it's interesting. When you look at Manny's performance as a welterweight, which I believe started with Miguel Cotto, who he stopped. Mm-hmm. And then you have a long list of fights where he doesn't get any stoppages. And then he stops Matisse. So there's a big gap of no knockdowns, no knockouts. In those fights, he scored 11, 12, 13, I forget how many knockdowns. So it's not like he doesn't have the power. And I think that it would serve Manny Pacquiao best should he not just win this fight, but win spectacularly because of what could be there in the future.
Well, and speaking of what could be there in the future, we're going to touch on it in a few moments, Steve. But with that knockout over Lucas Matisse, do you think that made Manny a little bit meaner in the ring? Because Manny is a very nice guy, very humble, but now that he's got that feeling again of knocking out another man, a very talented fighter, Lucas Matisse, in July, as he pointed out, that he has like a bloodlust almost, that, okay, I can do that, and this is how it feels. It is electrifying. I want to do it again.
I think so, and I think he said that. He said that the knockout was a high for him that he hadn't experienced in so long. And the reason, Ray, that fight fans love Manny Pacquiao is whether he gets the knockout or not. He fights. He's in exciting fights. He's an action guy. He throws a lot of punches, and he's capable of hurting guys. Keep in mind, he's not a big welterweight. You know, if you look at the top 50 of the welterweight division, Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner are the two shortest fighters in the top 50. They're both around 5'6", give or take half an inch. So Manny's not a big welterweight, but he's shown, even fighting at 154, that he can hurt people.
Well, and Manny's actually a part of history as well, because he's only one of 3 fighters in the history of the sport to win a welterweight crown on 3 separate occasions.
And, of course, he's the only fighter in history who, if you count lineal titles, has won titles in 8 different divisions, which is really pretty remarkable. There have been many fighters, not many, but a few fighters who have jumped from as low as flyweight all the way up to welter or even heavier. Ted Kid Lewis, George Carpentier, fighters who were world champions. But what Manny's done, because he turned pro so young and was only, 106 pounds at the time, he's grown, and we've watched him grow. The first time we saw him in America, he was at 122 pounds when he beat Waba, don't ask me to say his name, but when he won the 122-pound title. And to think that he could go all the way up to welterweight, I don't think we would have thought that at the time. But he's filled out, and he can whack at this weight.
And we will hear from Manny Pacquiao in a few moments. But, Steve, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Last Tuesday in Los Angeles at the Staples Center, it was Filipino Heritage Night, but you go ahead and there was, Manny was honored by the Los Angeles Clippers, and sitting courtside across the way from Manny Pacquiao was Floyd Money Mayweather. The last time they were at a basketball game together and they had a conversation, a couple months later, the biggest fight in the history of combat sports happened. Now, for you, do you think that if Manny looks impressive, that we could see Pacquiao bring and lure Floyd Mayweather out of retirement?
I don't think there's a doubt that it's up to Floyd Mayweather. I don't think there's a doubt Pacquiao wouldn't want that fight. First of all, it's obviously the best money fight that could be made, and he has it in him that he thinks he can beat Floyd, and he didn't do well at all the first time they fought. It's really up to Floyd. Does Floyd want to fight Manny again? With Floyd, the motivation is this. We know that. There's a reason his nickname is Money Mayweather, and I think there's a very good chance we could see the fight. But to erase some of the bad taste in the mouths of fans from the first fight, which, let's face it, was not a particularly exciting fight, Manny has to win and look impressive and exciting against Broner.
Steve, in your opinion, if Manny is successful over Adrian Broner, as I look at both Pacquiao and Mayweather, if that fight were to happen, if a rematch is done, they're both in their 40s.
Right.
They both have slowed down from a speed standpoint. I think it makes for a more compelling fight the second go-around because we may see more sustained pockets of action where they have to go toe-to-toe because they don't have the legs that they had underneath them 3 or 4 years ago.
Exactly right. Now, you don't worry about excitement from Manny. We get that all the time. It's really Floyd's dominance as a defensive fighter that made the first fight relatively uneventful and gave Mayweather a pretty easy decision win. So the question is the Mayweather we saw against Conor McGregor, where he actually was willing to take some shots just to tire his man out, is that the new Mayweather? When a fighter turns 40, not everyone is Bernard Hopkins. Not everyone can compete at the highest level into their 40s. Maybe it affects Manny. Maybe it affects Floyd. Maybe we get an Ali Frazier type of fight, the third one in Manila, where they were both diminished, and that's why it was so exciting.
And we are privileged to have and be joined alongside by the 8-division world champion. He turned 40 years of age on December 17th. He hasn't fought here in the United States in almost 2 years. Welcome back stateside, the 8-division world champion, the senator from the Philippines, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, as we are just days away from his showdown against Adrian the Problem Broner on Showtime pay-per-view here in Las Vegas. Manny, thanks so much for joining us back here in Las Vegas. This is familiar territory for you. How good does it feel to be back here in the fighting capital of the world?
I'm so happy and blessed, and nice to be back here in Las Vegas to fight again.
Now, Manny, the preparation obviously impeccable, but the fan reaction yesterday during the grand arrival, there were people that were lined up for hours. How much did that touch your heart as you saw the fans embrace you here in the United States once again?
Oh, I feel so happy, and it touched me because of the fans, of the overwhelming support of the fans yesterday, the grand arrival. I'm so happy, and I never expect that because I've not been here since almost 2 years, more than 2 years, and then when I get back here at the MGM, and then I saw the fans, I'm so happy and blessed, and really thankful to the fans.
Manny, I have to ask you. You're a little bit unusual for a superstar fighter in that you seem to thrive. You love being surrounded by so many people. The hubbub, all the excitement, yet you're so tranquil and you're so calm. When did that happen? Were you always like that, or did that happen as you got more and more big fights?
I always that since the beginning. I like that. I want to be surrounded with people and like that, having fun with them and to be friendly with them.
I just, one other thing, I get a big kick out of your reaction to Adrian Broner. We all know his act. Yeah. He has a big mouth. He likes to talk. And yet your reaction to that is, I think he's funny. That's what you said. So tell me, do you think Broner speaks the way he does to pump himself up? Because he's not going to intimidate you, obviously.
No. I've been in this sport more than 20 years. So I think that's his style. I mean, like I said, after his boxing career, he has another job to...
Any talking job, right?
Talking job, yes.
Now, Manny, you have fought every style imaginable. Go ahead.
Yeah, but this sport is not about talking. It's about the action and then how you give your best in the ring.
Manny, when does the switch flip for you? Because you're obviously very happy. You're smiling all the time. When does that switch happen? It happens for different guys during parts of fight week. Some guys come in and have their game face on Tuesday, Thursday, the wane. But when does that switch flip for you as to where you know you're going into battle against someone who wants to take your crown?
Well, when I step up in the ring at that night, Saturday night.
So as you're making your ring walk.
Yes. And then smiling. Then when you get to the ring.
Then you turn into Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Now, let's discuss the style of Adrian Broner. Freddie Roach told us that, this is a little bit of a challenge in the sense that Broner expects you to come to him. You've obviously faced every style imaginable, but what are some things that you guys have been working on in preparation for expecting Adrian Broner to probably be a counterpuncher as he's done during the course of his career?
He's trying to be, he's what I believe he's watching Marquez fight. I know he's going to counter me, but we're ready on that. I'm ready on that. What happened in Marquez fight, it will not happen again. I mean, that's a mistake, and then I learned that mistake, and we work on that in this training camp, and I will prepare for this style, but my focus is to be aggressive, and then wherever he goes, I will go.
Manny, looking at the big picture, when you look at the list of fighters you fought countless great fighters, all-time great fighters, Hall of Fame fighters. In terms of pure talent, we always say that Broner has not necessarily shown what he can show. Do you view him as that talented a fighter, or do you think he's not what some people say?
Well, it's hard to to rate his style, but he's a former world champion. He moved fast, but you cannot underestimate. I mean, he threw punches, so you cannot underestimate him. That this is an easy opponent, or think about that this is an easy fight. Never to hands up than to hands down. we know what I'm talking about. It's better to hands up than hands down.
Right. Figuratively and literally.
No doubt. Manny, we've heard reports that you've had some fantastic sparring. One of your main sparring partners, George Kambosos, out of Australia. Can you dive into detail in terms of the sparring that you've gotten in preparation for Adrian Broner? Kambosos is going to be on the non-televised undercard on Saturday here in Las Vegas. But Kambosos is an Australian fighter who has a heavy punch. But can you tell us about the work that you've gotten in sparring?
Yeah, Kamboso and the other sparring partners, they're counterpuncher. So they're waiting. So it's helped a lot. I mean, he's young. He's 26 years old. So I have to move young as like a young.
Keeps you young, right?
Yes, keep me young. And then he helped me a lot with this training camp. And like I said, we apply a couple strategy and techniques for this fight. So I'm ready and excited.
Now you're at 40 years of age. Freddie Roach told us last week during your workout that he doesn't ever think in the history of prize fighting that there has been someone who is the president of a country and also a prize fighter. Could that be in your future?
Right now,
put you under the gun.
Yeah, I know. Right now, I'm so focused on my fight as a boxing career, as a public servant, as a senator. That's my focus. But thinking to run as another the higher level of position, I'm not thinking right now.
Can I make a suggestion?
What is that?
I know that the law in America, you have to be born in America to be president, but can you run for president of America? Just a suggestion, Manny. No pressure. No pressure.
Now, Manny, we have heard that, if you're successful on Saturday against Adrian Broner on Showtime pay-per-view, Manny Pacquiao puts his world title on the line against Adrian Broner this upcoming Saturday here in Las Vegas. But what timetable would you like to come back in this year? Would you like to fight in the early summertime, late summertime? What is a good time for Manny Pacquiao to return to the ring, assuming all goes well on Saturday?
Okay, this is my schedule. I have work this month. After my fight, I'm going back straight to the Philippines and then work at the Senate. And February, second week of February, we have break until last week of May. So that's a long break for the Senate. And then last week of May resume for 2 weeks. First week of June we have break until last week of July. So that's
So maybe late springtime, early summertime?
so I can have a fight by May or by July.
You know, I hear Cinco de Mayo weekend is a pretty popular weekend here in Las Vegas, Manny.
Really, Cinco de Mayo.
I think
How
you-
about July 15?
Sounds good too. Let's make it happen. Well, Manny, thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. Finally, a prediction for Saturday night. You are a 3-1 favorite. What is your, in terms of a perfect world for Manny Pacquiao, how does this fight end against Adrian Broner
Oh, yeah.
on Showtime pay-per-view?
This is gonna be a good fight. This is gonna be. I will do my best. This is my challenge. That being 40 years old, I can still give my best. And please tune in for this fight. It's gonna be a good fight. Memorable fight for everybody. Thank you so much for this great opportunity.
One last question from me. You never overlook anyone. That's why you've been so successful. But will your statement be made to try to impress a future opponent that maybe you want to make a rematch with? I think we know who I mean.
Yes. But we will answer that question after the Saturday night fight. Okay, we will answer who's my next opponent. Who's, it's easy to answer, but it's just like this fight. They ask me about why Adrian Broner, why you choose this style. You you think that his style is similar for somebody else here, and I told them it's just a coincidence that Broner is the same style of my opponent in the past.
Okay.
Final few moments with the
Spoken like a true politician.
well, you can tell he has some work, and he's done a couple of speeches along the way. Privileged to be joined alongside by the 8th Division World Champion Manny Pacquiao for a few more moments. Manny being very gracious with his time here as we lead up to his World Championship defense this Saturday on Showtime pay-per-view. Manny, is it fair to say we see a twinkle in your eye? That you're very happy. We've seen it before, but this is a very happy Manny Pacquiao back here in the United States. Is it fair to say that you love boxing now more than ever?
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. That this is the real evidence of being passionate of the sports. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't need to continue boxing. I am a senator of the Republic of the Philippines. I have another job, and I'm supposedly, focused on that job, but I'm still focused on that job. But, like I said, boxing is my passion, and public service is my mission. So I'm still here, keep on fighting, and I want to put my name in the top until I'm going to retire, and a winner until I retire.
Let's talk about your lead trainer, Buboy Fernandez. How happy are you with Buboy, who has been in your corner for pretty much from the very beginning? Now he's the lead trainer. He's the one in the corner with you as your main chief second. But how impressed are you by the work that you have done with Buboy Fernandez? Freddie Roach is back in your corner, but tell us about that development from Buboy.
Buboy, he learned a lot from Freddie Roach. Okay, when we start working with Freddie, he learned a lot from Freddie Roach, and we want to mold Buboy as a trainer. Freddie and I will discuss, and then we thought Buboy, and then we teach him how to become a good trainer, because we want him to be a legendary trainer.
Like a legendary fighter. I would think at this point in your career, Manny, after 24 years of fighting, there's not many adjustments you make anyway, right? At this point, you are what you are.
Yes, that's all right. We adjust a little bit, just for in training, the way you recover your body.
Right.
And being back at the wild card, it has to feel like, once again, this is somewhere that you built a large part of your legacy. It must have felt great being back at the wild card, being in your own environment, seeing a lot of familiar faces, and being immersed yourself in that gym. It had to feel real good, and I'm sure you feel great to be back at home, correct?
Oh yeah. It's feel to be back.
When boxing fans tell you, Manny, how long are you going to keep going? Do you have, a time period as to how long you want to keep fighting? Because Freddie Roach said, until you slow down, I think Manny can keep fighting for a while. And I mean, who knows? 40 is the new 30.
Because they saw me how I train hard, I work hard, and then I think if you ask me about my condition, this is a favor from God. I'm so thankful to God because He gave me the strength. And what I feel right now, I can still fight 2 to 3 more years, and I'm still okay. I don't feel like I'm 30 years old. I feel like I'm 29, 30 years old, like that. Like that. The way I work hard, the way I train.
Tell me your secret, please. Tell me your secret.
Yes, that's right. Just keep in shape. Even though beside boxing, because if I have a fight, then I go to the gym for boxing. But if I don't have a fight, I never go to the gym.
Right.
But I still work out basketball or badminton.
So you stay in shape.
Volleyball, yeah, stay in shape.
Well, Manny, thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate it. Good luck on Saturday night against Adrian the Problem Broner, the 8-division world champion, the senator from the Philippines, Sarangani province in the Philippines. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao joining us. Thank you so much for your time, Manny. Good luck. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is back here in the United States, fighting in Las Vegas against Adrian the Problem Broner. It all goes down this Saturday on Showtime pay-per-view. And, Steve, that seems to be an extra happy Manny Pacquiao.
I don't think he'd be doing this, Ray, if he were not pleased with himself and pleased with fighting. It's not about his legs. It's not about how fast his hands move. It's about what's in here for him. And if he wants to keep fighting, look, we know fame can be a drug. It's very hard to give it up. Maybe part of his thinking is that as a politician, a high-profile politician in his country, he wants to feed off the notoriety he gets as a boxer as well, because we all know he's by far the most famous person in the Philippines. And you brought it up. Maybe he has aspirations to be the next president of the Philippines. I believe that election is in 2022. So we're still a ways away from that. But my point as a boxing fan is that as long as he's as exciting as he's been consistently for so many years, let him keep fighting. I love it.
And not only that, Steve, but you have been around this sport and have seen countless Hall of Famers. You yourself are a Hall of Famer. But with Manny Pacquiao, it's like that once-in-a-lifetime kind of a fighter. What he has done in his career, no one has been able to do. So still that he's fighting at a high level, it's almost like a treat to be able to say, okay, if you haven't appreciated him before, you better now, because he's not going to be around forever.
Yeah, exactly true. And if you wanted just an idea of what kind of caliber of opponents he's fought over the years, just look at his record and put a check next to his last 25 opponents. How many have been world champions? I understand titles are cheaper today than they used to be, but I think it's 24 out of 25. So he's fought at a very high level, the highest level. And you can even argue that he's fought guys much bigger than him, much naturally bigger than him along the way. So there's nothing not to like about his career.
And also for Manny fighting here in Las Vegas, he has had some big moments here at the MGM Grand. This is the 14th time that Manny Pacquiao is going to step inside the ropes here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. So there is something special for Manny Pacquiao when it comes to the MGM Grand Garden Arena. There's a statement that says you have to come and fight here in the fighting capital of the world. Manny Pacquiao has made Las Vegas his home away from home.
And rightfully so, because, Ray, we both do fights in a lot of big cities, and we also do some fights at some really small venues.
Yes, we do.
And there's a charm to both. But the fact of the matter is when you get a fight of this caliber and this magnitude, it belongs in Vegas. It just seems like it fits in Vegas. And this city and these hotels and everything about it just absorbs all the energy and spits out energy. I was walking through the lobby yesterday, and my wife said to me, seems pretty quiet here. And I said, yes, but tomorrow, be a few more people here. Thursday, better yet, you'll see pockets of people. They're all talking about the same thing, the fight. Friday, of course, because of the weigh-in, it builds even more. And then Saturday's the payoff. But there's nothing like a big fight in Vegas.
And if you have never been here in Las Vegas, or if you're not here in Las Vegas, make sure to check it out on Showtime pay-per-view. Right now, we're going to go to the stage as the press conference between Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner is about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your attendance, and we welcome you to the David Copperfield Theater here at the beautiful MGM Grand in Las Vegas. This is for the final press conference for Pacquiao versus Broner and our big night of action taking place this coming Saturday, January the 19th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. The fighters have finished their training. We're almost there. We're just 3 days away from Pacquiao versus Broner. A big night of action. A Showtime pay-per-view portion includes 4 world title bouts, headlined by Senator Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, boxing's only 8-division world champion and wildly popular defending world champion, defending his crown against the former 4-division world champion and must-see attraction, Adrian the Problem Broner. More on available tickets and more on pay-per-view information a little bit later, but we bring to your attention this is a Premier Boxing Champions presentation brought to you by MP Promotions, Mayweather Promotions, and TGB Promotions in association with About Billions Promotions. And our sponsors are Wow Pilipinas Party List, Tecate, Ublo, and Limitless Fitness. Before we present our principles, as you see up here, we would like to hear from the executive team. It takes a team to make an event this large happen and be a success. And we begin with the CEO of Mayweather Promotions and a regular fixture of mega fights. Please welcome the always sharp and always dapper Leonard Ellerbe.
Thank you, Jeremy. I would like to thank everyone for coming out today. I would like to thank Showtime, MGM, our co-promoters, MP Promotions, TGB Promotions, About Billion Promotions, and my entire staff at Mayweather Promotions. You know, about 3.5 years ago, I sat on this same side, opposite from this great legend to my right. So I know what Manny Pacquiao can do. I've studied this man religiously for many years, and today he's still one of the best welterweights in the world. He still has tremendous explosiveness, speed, and power, and more importantly, he has the experience to beat any welterweight in the world. He's been doing this at the highest level for so many years that we often forget how really great this man is. Being around him from this promotion, what I've noticed there's been a slight change. And in that change, he has a lot more pep in his step. He's a lot more funnier. Whoever thought that Manny Pacquiao would be cracking jokes and, you know, making fun of others, you know, in a complimentary, respectful way. But what I think it's all about is that he's in a very comfortable position because finally he's become his own boss, where he can dictate the terms and he can have a lot of fun at what he's doing. I think he's super motivated, and I think that's what's going to make for a great fight come Saturday night. You hear all this talk from his legendary Hall of Famer trainer that he's looking to knock Adrian Broner out. Well, I think we got news coming Saturday night. I have a whole different perspective on what I perceive on how it's going to go down. On the flip side, coming into this fight, we all know that there have been rumblings about the AB's preparation. He needs to let his hands go. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. But what I've witnessed firsthand for this entire promotion, that this young man, he's dedicated himself 100%. He's done everything that Coach Cunningham and Coach Stafford has asked of him, and he's exceeded all those expectations. He's ready and focused, and he's put in the work. And that's more importantly, he's given himself the best situation to be successful come Saturday night. And I fully expect nothing but a great virtuoso performance from Adrian Broner come Saturday night. He didn't cut one corner during this entire training camp because his focus was he wanted to go out there and prove to each and every one of you that all that shit that y'all been talking, you can throw it out the window. Adrian Broner is coming this Saturday night to show everyone in the entire world what he's all about, and I expect nothing less from a great dominating performance from Adrian Broner. Tune in Showtime pay-per-view Saturday night.
Thank you, Leonard. Under his leadership, Showtime has more than proved its moniker as being the #1 destination for boxing. 2018 was a terrific year for Showtime, and 2019 is starting off in a very big way with this pay-per-view event. Please welcome the President of Sports and Event Programming for Showtime Network, Steven Espinosa.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'm not going to get up here and tell you guys anything that you don't know about Manny Pacquiao or Adrian Broner. These are two guys who have operated at the highest level of boxing for years. In Manny's case, literally decades. So you're not going to hear anything new here, but I will remind you of some things. You know, Manny Pacquiao is a Hall of Famer, no question about it. Fighter of the Year, 2006, 2008, 2009. He's a boxing legend. He's a senator. He's generous and humble and soft-spoken outside the ring. But most of all, he takes tough fights. The last 20 opponents that Manny Pacquiao has had have been either current, former, or future world champions. Out of all his fights, he's fought 22 world champions in all. So we know he takes tough fights. Adrian Broner is certainly no slouch either. 37 career fights, 9 world champions. Malignaggi, Maidana, Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia. He's obviously demonstrated himself to be an elite fighter. He's flashy, flamboyant, sometimes outrageous, but always he's unapologetically AB. But on Saturday night, everything changes. Manny's no longer humble and soft-spoken. Adrian is no longer fun-loving and outgoing. They transform themselves into two of the most athletically gifted, two of the most talented, two of the most ferocious, two of the truest warriors in our sport. Above all, these two guys have heart. And it's the one thing that is rarest in this sport. Between them, they have won titles in 12 different divisions. Manny's in 8 division world champion. Adrian Broner has won it in 4. That's the 3rd most division titles of all time. The first, of course, was Manny Pacquiao De La Hoya fight. There were 14 divisions between the two of them. Second was Mayweather-Pacquiao, and this is 3rd. So we know this is an elite fight, and they're in elite company. But again, on Saturday night, none of that matters. This isn't a contest of who's got the best resume. It's not the contest of who has the best career or who's the best senator. This is a high-level contest with high stakes between two of the most talented, athletically gifted, and accomplished fighters in the sport today. A win in this fight catapults each of them to bigger things. Doesn't get any bigger than that. We'll see you Saturday night.
Thank you, Stephen. Listen, I want to tell you there are 3 ways to watch this fight remotely. 3 ways. And the first fight on pay-per-view is 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Number 1, traditional pay-per-view, either on your cable, your satellite, or telco providers nationwide. Number 2, you can stream. You can purchase the live stream either directly on Showtime.com or you can use the Showtime app for Apple Android devices and for the very first time on Roku, Xbox One, and Android TV. Just make sure your device can handle this live stream. Thirdly, you can go with your friends and join other boxing fans at theaters, at restaurants, and pubs as well. So many opportunities, many ways to watch this fight, this big mega fight. But of course, the best way is to be there live. There's nothing like being at a live event of this magnitude. And we are honored to be here at the MGM Grand for this mega fight. At this time, it is our pleasure to hear from our host, President of Las Vegas Live Entertainment and Sports of MGM Resorts International, Richard Sturm.
Thank you, Jimmy. And good afternoon to the media and all the fight fans watching today's event live from around the world. I'd like to welcome back Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner, two of the sport's best fighters, to Las Vegas and the MGM Grand. Fans are always excited to watch these two fighters compete in the ring, and we are confident Saturday's event will kick off another exciting year of sports and entertainment programming for MGM Resorts. I'd like to give a special thanks to Al Heyman, Leonard Ellaby, and the Mayweather Promotions team, Tom Brown and his TGB promotion staff, Pacquiao Promotions, Stephen Espinoza with Showtime, and Bob Bennett of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the MGM Grand Saturday night for the sensational event. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. And in terms of the MGM Grand Garden Arena, tickets are still available. They start at $100. Now, they can be purchased online through access.com. They can be purchased by phone at calling at 1-866-740-7711 or in person at any MGM Resorts International box office. Now we move along to hear from the auspices of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, which is sanctioning all four of our title fights tomorrow night. Please welcome the valued and respected Executive Director of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Mr. Bob Bennett.
Thank you, and very good afternoon. It's great to have the Senator Pacquiao and Mr. Broner back in action in the fight capital of the world, and we certainly welcome them. On behalf of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, we want to thank Tom Brown and TGB Promotions, of course Leonard Ellaby and Mayweather Promotions, and Premier Boxing Fighters. I mean, having those three and bringing this fight to the fight capital of the world is fantastic. It's going to be a terrific fight, and we have the honor and privilege of regulating that fight. All of these fights are something that we take very seriously. We're prepared, and we look forward to going to work. As always, it's a pleasure doing business with the MGM, Showtime, and last and probably most importantly, the fighters. Because without the fighters, none of us would be here. So thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, Bob. I'm glad we're in good hands with the commission. And now representing About Billions Promotions, please welcome Ravone Littlejohn.
Thank you all for coming. Oh, man. Thank you all for being here. I just stooped down a little bit. First of all, I'd like to thank Leonard. He's pulled me aside several times from Mayweather Promotions, and he's told me, the severity of things and how to conduct things on the pay-per-view level, which is what we're on right now. So I really want to thank Leonard. He's been great throughout this whole promotion. I'd like to thank Mr. Heyman, who's done a lot for our company and me as well. As far as the fight, Adrian trained really hard. I'd like to thank Coach Kevin Cunningham and Mike Stafford. They really put together a great game plan. He'll be ready. There's been a lot of talk from them, talking about knockouts and all that. You'll get knocked out. You understand? You've been knocked out. So we're not trying to hear none of that. This is our first time here, and we've liked it. We've enjoyed it. The guys you see over here, over the last 10 years, 15 years, we've put a lot into this. You know, we are a true brotherhood, and you know, we pulling for our guy, 100%. Cincinnati, stand up. I'd like to acknowledge the other champs we got. My man Robert Easter Jr. I don't know where he at, but we gotta give a shout out to him. We have two of our fighters fighting. There he is over there in the corner. Destiny Butler and Desmond Jarman, they'll be fighting on Saturday night also. We plan to be victorious and leave out Saturday night world champions. Thank you all.
Before we hear from Team Pacquiao's promotional team, noticeably absent here is TGB Promotions. They have gracefully succeeded their time to others to make our press conference a little more brief, but certainly they deserve recognition as some of the other promoters have done. Tom Brown, President of TGB Promotions, Brittany Goosen Brown, Vice President of TGB Promotions, thank you so much for your tireless efforts to make this event possible. Now please welcome the head of MP Promotions, Joe Ramos.
Thank you, Jimmy. On behalf of Senator Manny Pacquiao's MP Promotions, I would like to thank all of you for coming here today. We are honored, humbled, and proud to be a part of this amazing event. It has been a pleasure to work with our partners, the unrivaled Al Heyman and the PBC, TGB Promotions, and Mayweather Promotions, and of course, About Billions Promotions. This will be Manny's 20th fight in Las Vegas, and this is the best we've been treated, not only during our stay here, but throughout the entire promotions. I would like to acknowledge our team, led by Sean Gibbons and Tom Foggy, Manny's trainers, Boo-Boy, Freddie, Justin, and Nonoy, Manny's assistants, David, Stephen Choi, our security, PR, the LA boys, and the rest of Team Pacquiao that makes all of our lives easier. Thank you. We all know that Adrian's ready, and we expect nothing but the best from him and his team come Saturday night. Good luck, Team Broner. The MGM Grand, our gracious host for the spectacular event, is known for its love of lions. In fact, the very first thing you see when entering this resort is Leo the Lion. On Saturday night, Senator Manny Pacquiao, with his heart of a lion, boxing's only 8-division world champion, the reigning, defending WBA champion of the world, will prove once again that he is the king of the jungle. Yeah! Don't miss this event. Go buy your tickets or order the fight on Showtime pay-per-view. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. You're very popular here this afternoon. I'd like to take a moment to talk about the quality of the entire pay-per-view event. This pay-per-view event truly exudes competitive action, and absolutely no one can complain about mismatches in this night of boxing. Listen to this. Every fighter on the card is ranked in the top 10. 4 of the fighters are either defending champions or ranked number 1 in their division. Now, the challengers or opponent's corner in the red corner actually have a better combined winning record than the champion's corner, and in fact have a higher knockout percentage than the champion's corner as well. That's 73% to 55%. So congratulations to the promoters, to the matchmakers, to the fighters for risking their records and putting up this quality night of boxing. We all win with that. Now let's meet the trainers of the principals of the fight in the main event tomorrow. First, I would like to introduce on behalf of Adrian Broner's team, Team Adrian Broner. First of all, we want to recognize Mike Stafford, who is the co-trainer in attendance, along with Justin Fortune. Excuse me, that's going to be Mike Stafford, who is here, who is working with Kevin Cunningham. And at this time, we invite Kevin Cunningham to the microphone, a trainer of world champions, co-trainer of Adrian Broner. Once again, Kevin Cunningham.
Thanks, Jimmy. First of all, we got 2 trainers. We got 2 trainers on this side, so it ain't no 1, it's 2. Basically, I'm just gonna get straight to the point. We've had a tremendous training camp. AB's ready to go. I mean, most of you know me. You know, all I have in this world is my word and my balls, and I don't break them for nobody. And I'm giving you my word that AB will put on a spectacular performance on Saturday night. And I'm guaranteeing that he will send Manny back to the Senate beltless without the WBA title. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks. I'd like to thank the media for coming out. You know, I'd like to thank all the promoters, Showtime, Al Heyman for putting this great fight, Manny, Freddie. I'd like to thank you guys. You know, yeah. So, but you know, Adrian came to me. Let's get back to the fight. Adrian came to me when he was 55 pounds, 7 years old in my gym. He was an underdog then, and he came back every day, because I had tremendous fighters at that particular time, and I always have tremendous fighters. But Adrian, he went all the way up to the rope. He said, "Why you fucking with this kid? He's an asshole. He's bad." I say, "I see something in him." You know, I've been with Adrian since he was 7 years old. Now he's 29 years old. And I'm gonna tell you a little story too about Adrian and involving Freddie too. Me and Freddie was getting ready to be on the Olympic team, which that fell through. They did a special with Freddie and me and Rashid and a couple of other Olympians. And Adrian so happened to be, you know, I took him everywhere. I always take him everywhere, because that's how it be. I had to keep him out of trouble. So he was by my side. So we at the Wild Card gym, and you know, we did everything we had to do. So we had to interview me and Freddie. Freddie said, "Who was that son bitch outside, Mike?" I said, "That's Adrian Broner." Adrian was, you know, the media was there, and he was, you know, Freddie didn't know him, you know, didn't know him today. But he got to know him. He got to know him, and, you know, come Saturday night, Manny gonna know him too. Thanks a lot.
Mike Stafford and Kevin Cunningham available for questions and answers after we meet the fighters. Now I'd like to introduce members of Team Pacquiao joining us up here at the front stage. First of all, we want to recognize Sean Gibbons, Tom Faugi, and Justin Fortune. I inadvertently almost introduced Justin on the other team, but of course he's the strength and conditioning coach for Manny Pacquiao. Also want to recognize renowned boxing trainer, the trainer of Manny Pacquiao for so many years, 7-time Trainer of the Year, Freddie Roach. And now we invite to the microphone a longtime trainer of Manny Pacquiao, a fixture of the Pacquiao camps. Please welcome Buboy Fernandez.
Good morning, everyone. Can you give me a minute, please? He got 2. I want the 2. We need 3. Coach, you stay my side, Coach, please. Coach Justin. First of all, I would like to thank all the media for this opportunity, for this fight, and promotion. I know we work hard for this. Only one word I said, I cannot fly without wings, but I'm gonna bring the belt back to the Philippines. Thank you, and good morning.
We've trained really hard for this fight. Manny's looking really good. He's in great shape. I'm sure Adrian is also, and they're both great fighters. I wish them both luck, and the best man will win. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Team Pacquiao. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come to meet our fighters and allow them to share a couple of words with you at this time. First, we present the challenger from Cincinnati and the number 6 ranked welterweight contender in the world. He has the numbers. He's fought 10 world champions coming this Saturday night. This will be his 10th world title appearance. He's a 4-division world champion. He also has the adjectives. He's colorful, he's unpredictable, he's entertaining. No one can doubt he is immensely talented. Regardless of which number you use, regardless of which adjective you use, he is one of boxing's biggest draws. Please welcome boxing's youngest ever 4-division world champion, Adrian "The Problem" Broner.
What's good, y'all? Shit, I want to, first of all, I got to thank God, you know. I wouldn't be nothing without, his blessings of me being here. I want to thank Al Heyman, my team, About Billions, along with Mayweather Promotions, I really ain't up here to talk a lot of shit, man. I put in the work. It's fight time. I'm pissed off for real. Coming here and do this press conference in this little ass room. When I went to Mayweather fight and Pacquiao and that fight, they was in that big ass place and it was mass people around. They just let the media in here, I guess. They ain't spend no money on our shit, like our fight ain't nothing. But I see what they trying to say. But they ain't gonna do this shit no more after I win. I swear to God. And that's on God and them. And y'all know, I don't know who NM is, but it's on God and them. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like y'all trying to play me for real. I don't like that shit. Because y'all keep on saying, well, he gonna fight Floyd again. Well, to my recognition, Floyd is fucking retired, man. Floyd just fucking fought 60 seconds and got 9 million. And I'm trying to fight Tom Brady after I beat Pacquiao. So I don't want y'all to have nothing to say about this shit. Because there's some shit going on. And I just, I just feel like y'all just, trying to throw me in there to the wolves. Because, like, let's just think about it. Look at my last 5 fights, right? I fought world champion after world champion after world champion after world champion. And then these other motherfuckers, they like, all right, he the world champion, but he gonna go in there and fight his assistant. I'm like, man, I just seen these 2 motherfuckers together yesterday. Now they fighting on Saturday? This shit ain't right, man, but it's cool. I don't duck no fights. I don't give a fuck. I don't care that he's an 8-time world champion in all them weight classes and shit. I don't care about none of that. All I worry about is, long as my money right, we can have a nice fight. I told Bob Arum that, but he only wanted to give me like $2 million, but I said, fuck him. So this time, this time they talking a lot better than them numbers, right? So we gonna have a hell of a fight. I trained my ass off. And I just want y'all to know, though, I play a lot, but when that bell ring, though, I'm going to be ready. And I ain't coming in to lose. I ain't coming to lay down, man. I'm coming to get this victory for real, real talk. And that's on everything. Real talk. I love y'all.
Thank you, Adrian Broner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent from Sarangani province in the Philippines. The only sitting congressman or senator to win a world title. In his amazing 24-year career, he has appeared in over 25 world championship bouts. He's a legend of the sport. He's an icon of the sport. He's a future Hall of Famer. He is the current defending WBA welterweight champion of the world and boxing's only 8-division world champion. Please welcome Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
Thank you, Jamie. First of all, I would like to thank God for this privilege today that we have a press conference and give us good health and strength. And of course, I would like to thank MGM Grand Hotel for accommodating this memorable fight. Thank you to TGB Promotions, Mayweather Promotions, MP Promotions, and PBC for giving us this favor and chance for especially not only me as a fighter, but to all my fighters that I have in the Philippines to have a fight here in America. Thank you for this great opportunity for them.
And to Al Heyman, thank you so much. And media, press, to all the fans all over the world for a warm welcome. I never expect that the crowd yesterday in a grand arrival is that too many. The overwhelming support of the fans, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And of course, Showtime for covering this fight. Team Broner, Team Pacquiao. We know that we're waiting for this moment this coming Saturday. And this is we work hard, both sides. Broner's team work hard. Pacquiao's team work hard. And what we are trying to do here is not, nothing personal. Nothing personal outside the ring. We'll always be friendly. We'll always be friend. If you want to be friend with us. But this coming Saturday, like I said, we work hard. We work hard. We should give our best to the fans to make the fans satisfied who are going to watch this fight. And of course, thank you so much to all the fans who are always there to support boxing, especially this coming Saturday. Tune in on Saturday. It's going to be a good fight. We did our best, and also thank you so much for accommodating this to all the organizers. I know to promote a boxing match like this is not easy to to manage. I experienced that. I experienced that in my last fight. It's not easy to work on this kind of event. Especially this big event. So I really appreciate your hard work. And of course, nothing personal. We're doing our job, and everybody's. We want to make sure, me and Broner, we want to make sure that the fans on Saturday will be happy. And before I end my speech, my message, so thankful to God for this privilege and His favor that at age of 40 I'm still here and keep on fighting. That's the evidence of being passionate of this sport. Passionate in, if you ask me, if you think of my position, I don't need to continue with boxing, but because of my passion of this sport, I'm still here giving happiness, entertain people, and also giving my best in this sport. So thank you so much. And before I end, I will give you a passage of scriptures in the Bible that it says in Jeremiah 9 verse 23 and 24. It says, "This is what the Lord says: Let not the wise boast about their wisdom, or the strong boast about their strength, or the rich boast about their riches. But let the one who boast about this, that they have the understanding to know me, that I am the Lord who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth. For in this I delight, declares the Lord." Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you, Manny. And at this time, my pleasure to pass the microphone on to a gentleman to conduct a question and answer session. Boxing Hall of Fame analyst for Showtime Sports, the respected voice of boxing, Al Bernstein.
Thank you very, very much. It falls to me to start the ball rolling. I know many of you have had already done some interviews, and you're going to do more as we go. But for those people watching on our streaming, a chance to ask some questions about these fighters, and I'm delighted and honored to be able to do that. Let me start with Manny Pacquiao. Manny, you are fighting back here at in the United States and here at the MGM Grand Garden, where you fought 13 times before. How does it feel to be back here in the United States and at this arena?
I feel excited to be back here in this arena at the MGM, because this is a memorable place for me, because my first fight here in America is at MGM. That was 2001, June 23, 2001.
Now, in your last two fights, you've talked about how you've made some changes in terms of how you train, kind of acknowledging the fact that you're 40 and that you have to kind of
do some different things. How has that helped you, and what have you done?
Okay, we study properly. I'm studying my body condition, and then I learned that when you get this age of 40, when you push yourself at and train in heavy training in a day, you should balance your body, and then, you should watch your body to have recovery and at overnight. If not, then make your body let your body rest, and then after that, then push again to a heavy training.
Did you want that, or did you feel like, no, because you're a guy that's known for your aggressiveness and for your dedication. Was it hard for you to kind of convince yourself to do that?
I don't like that process, but I understand my body, because not only my mind, but also I have to rely on my body condition. That's the advice of the coaches, Friday, Boboy, Justin. We always, although in everyday training, we always negotiating about how many rounds, and then keep more, more, and then they're always trying to stop me every training camp.
All right. Now, much has been made up here on the dais about the fact that you have suggested to your trainer, Freddie Roach, and even in some comments, that you feel like a knockout is possible in this fight. You went 9 years without a knockout, then you knocked out Lucas Matisse. What is it that's making you feel that now? What is it that's making you actually make a statement to Freddie Roach and talk about that?
Like I said, Broner, he's well prepared for this fight, and we Stain Pacquiao will prepare for this. Will prepare for this fight. We'll do our best. I mean, if the knockout comes, then that's the bonus. I mean, we'll grab that opportunity. And same both of us. I mean, what we're gonna do, what we're trying to do here is to as long as the people will happy, and the fans who are going to watch on Saturday night will be happy. Coming out of that stadium.
Did that last stoppage, the knockout you got after a while, did that rejuvenate you to the idea of getting knockouts? Did that give you a little extra pizzazz to do that?
Well, we perfectly adjust, like I said, in our training process, training camp, that we give time our body recovery in training, during training. Then it worked in the last fight. So that's what we did. We did this training camp, and we give our best.
All right, we'll see how it goes. Well, we'll turn to Adrian Broner, who, Adrian, you mentioned to some of the press that you see this fight as turning the page, and a win would mean so much to you. Explain a little bit on how it is turning the page for you.
I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I don't fuck with you, bro. I don't fuck with you. You be talking too much shit about me on Twitter, bro. And I'm gonna let you.
Me?
Yeah, you bitch ass nigga. I'm gonna let you know. And and I'm just being real, bro. Like, I just already feel like you against me. So
I'm not against anybody, but this isn't about me. It's about you.
I'd rather Roy Jones or Stephen A. Smith ask me some questions. I don't fuck with you.
Okay, that's fine. So Adrian Broner's not going to answer any more questions. I think I'll take that as a no, and we'll let you ask him all the questions in the future. But now it's time for the fighters to face. Well, let me ask before we get to that. I will go to some of to your trainer, Kevin Cunningham. Kevin, you talked about the
it's gang. If I don't fuck with you, they don't fuck with you.
Well, I think it's their choice, isn't it?
Man, gang. You know what that means? Gang. Take the L out of lover. It's over, brother.
Well, Kevin, what do you say to all this? He's done. All right. It's not about me. It's about the fighters. So what do you say we have them do a face-off for you? And it's time for the face-off between the two fighters. Let's get that going, and that'll end the festivities.
Wow.
So that ends the press conference with Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner. Ray Flores once again joined alongside by the Hall of Famer Steve Farhood, and I think it's fair to say that Adrian Broner was a bit contentious towards Showtime's own Al Bernstein.
Yes, I'm not going to get personal here, but all I'm going to say is that you got to be careful who you pick fights with. In picking a fight with Al Bernstein, Adrian Broner is picking a fight with a man who's a Hall of Famer, one of the most respected voices in boxing. And to be honest with you, I know Al very well. He doesn't care who's going to win this fight. Broadcasters, as you know, very rarely do care. And if they do care, they suspend that care to call the fight properly. So it's very hard for me to see where Adrian's coming from.
Well, prior to Adrian Broner declining to answer any of the questions by Al Bernstein, what I took away, Steve, is that he's very focused. AB is about business heading into this matchup with Manny Pacquiao. He stated in regards to chatter about there being a rematch of Floyd Mayweather, I don't know why you guys are talking about that because Floyd's retired. I am here. I am the opponent. I am going to surprise and do what I have to do to get the victory over Manny Pacquiao. Is that what you took away from Broner?
Yeah, I think so. And we can only put so much emphasis on what is said. To me, the difference in the two fighters, what we saw, and part of this goes back to the whole Al Bernstein incident there, different mindsets. Manny Pacquiao does not need a chip on his shoulder to perform. He's a happy guy. He's happy to fight. He has a burning competitiveness, but he doesn't need that chip on his shoulder. Adrian Broner's different. The first thing he said when he got up there was he felt dissed by whoever it was, the promotion or the venue or whatever. And then he carried it on to continue with his feelings about Al when Al asked the questions. So Adrian Broner is most effective psyching himself up to perform at his best with a big chip on his shoulder.
We've heard rumblings from his camp that this is the most focused we've ever seen Adrian Broner. And, Steve, I think it's fair to say that this is the most, in terms of, his mindset. Typically, Adrian is more playing around, not taking press conferences seriously. This is a very focused, dialed-in Adrian Broner, which, if he has his best night, could give Manny Pacquiao problems on Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view.
No doubt about it. And talking to the All Access guys at Showtime who live and eat and breathe with these guys in camp, the people who were with Broner in camp said that he worked very, very hard. That's not the first time he's worked very, very hard. He's in tremendous condition, but his focus seems to be there. And as you said, that has not always been the case in the past.
Well, here's his opportunity to go ahead and, as I mentioned earlier, Steve, to win the big one. That seems to be weighing on Adrian Broner, at least from an outsider's perspective.
Well, Broner seems to take issue to the fact that some people are giving Manny a rematch with Mayweather already. He has to beat Broner first, obviously. It boggles the mind to think what would happen if Broner did win. Are we looking at Mayweather-Broner potentially? The welterweight division we know is still probably the best in boxing. There are so many good fighters, from Errol Spence and Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford, etc., Sean Porter down the line. There is so much at stake after this fight, in addition to so much at stake Saturday night.
Well, let's look at the corners as well, because the corners were pretty vocal during the press conference. You have two guys in both camps. You have Kevin Cunningham, the trainer for Adrian Broner. You have Buboy Fernandez, the trainer for Manny Pacquiao. Both guys are in their second time as the lead trainer for the fighter, their respective fighters. Also, the old trainers, Mike Stafford for Adrian Broner, is in camp and is helping Kevin Cunningham. Freddie Roach had a fight that he was away from Manny Pacquiao with Lucas Matisse. Now he's back. So there's similarities and parallels in regards to both fighters.
I think with both fighters being the veterans they are, there's not going to be that much change. I think Kevin Cunningham was a very, very good choice to train Adrian Broner because Mike Stafford said himself, he's been with Adrian since Adrian was 7. And after a while, sometimes you just need a new voice. Kevin Cunningham's a former cop, no-nonsense guy. I think he brought a discipline to the camp of Broner, and as a result, last time out and this time, Broner's in great shape. So I think that was a big addition. Buboy, we know that Manny wants Buboy as his head trainer because he's looking after Buboy's long-term interests. He wants Buboy to have a name as a trainer after Manny Pacquiao's gone. With Freddie there, obviously, how do you top Freddie Roach? He's the best trainer of our generation. So interesting cases in both, but with veteran fighters, you're not going to try to reinvent the wheel. They are what they are.
Now, from a game plan standpoint, Steve, Manny Pacquiao is going to come out and be the aggressor. We know what Manny's going to bring. Punches in bunches. Throw that straight left hand. For Adrian Broner, the knock on him has been he starts too late. He has power. He has ability. He put Sean Porter on the deck in the 12th round when he was losing pretty much every round before that. That's no easy feat to do. So if Broner comes out, he needs to start quicker and start because he cannot get behind and face a big deficit against Manny Pacquiao on Saturday.
That may be the key to the whole fight. You're 100% right. And I call it the curse of the counterpuncher. Because when you're a counterpuncher, sometimes when you fight a high-level guy, you're looking for the perfect punch. Against Sean Porter, Adrian Broner found that at the beginning of the 12th round. It was too late. Porter had never been down before. It doesn't matter. He was going to finish the fight. It's important for Broner almost to change his style a little bit, start faster, and perhaps be more aggressive. I'm not so sure he's not the naturally bigger fighter, even though we don't consider him necessarily a full-fledged welterweight. We know Manny's a small welterweight. So Broner has to take advantage of some of these things and change his game a little bit, because if he waits, he's going to fall behind. And if he falls behind, the only way he's going to win is one-punch knockout, and you just can't count on that.
And, Steve, the overtures that we've been hearing from the Manny Pacquiao camp have been, especially from Freddie Roach, knockout, knockout. Manny has sort of alluded to it as well. That is something that is foreign to Manny Pacquiao, which we haven't heard in almost a decade. With that being said, we are in the fighting capital of the world, Las Vegas, known for gambling. Do you think that Manny is going to gamble a little bit more looking for that knockout, and that could be advantageous for Adrian Broner?
Well, all you have to do is look at that one fight for Manny, Manuel Marquez. They fought 4 times, but we all think of that one fight when Marquez landed that perfect counterpunch and Manny Pacquiao went down as hard as any fighter has ever gone down. So it's not like it hasn't happened before. In fact, Manny's been down several times in his career. Broner, on the other hand, has been down in one fight only against Marcos Maidana, his first loss, and showed tremendous heart in that fight to get up and finish the fight against a very big puncher in Maidana. So will Manny force the fight in an effort to get a knockout? If he does, he says no, but I think it would be because he has maybe Floyd Mayweather in the back of his mind, and he's looking to sell himself so that a rematch with Floyd is more palatable.
And Floyd Mayweather will be sitting ringside at the MGM Grand Showtime pay-per-view. It is Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner going head-to-head here in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. When it comes to Broner, he's going to be the naturally bigger man. Do you think that has any impact on the fight whatsoever?
Depends on how he fights. It depends on his style. If he lays back and lets Manny come to him and counterpunches, then the size I don't think is a factor at all. If he fights more aggressively than we're used to seeing him, perhaps tries to rough Pacquiao up, easier said than done. How many fighters have ever done that? I think the answer is 0. Then the size would be a difference. But Broner's ability to counterpunch is really the key for him to win. And he has to take Manny's aggressiveness and make it work against Manny.
Well, you always hear the narrative in combat sports, Steve, especially in boxing, speed kills. A way to combat speed is by attacking the body. We know that Adrian Broner has and likes to go head hunting. Do you think that Kevin Cunningham and Mike Stafford are going to focus on the body to try to slow down the mobility of Manny Pacquiao on Saturday?
I think that's a great plan, but very hard to implement. And the reason it's hard to implement, Ray, is because Manny uses his legs to come in and out so quickly. He doesn't give you a target. And, you know, in talking to Raul Marquez last week during our Showbox fight, he said the key to Manny is his legs, because that's what he uses to his advantage. He's very quick, and he throws punches that you just don't see coming. That's why he's so hard to counterpunch, because he doesn't throw the standard 1-2 or the lazy jab. Look at the fight with Matisse. He knocked Matisse out with left uppercuts. Where did that punch come from? So he invents himself as he goes along. He adjusts well, and it's going to be up to Broner to adjust to Manny.
And if Manny goes ahead and reigns true on what their thought process is, and if he's the first guy to stop Adrian Broner, how much would that be reverberated throughout the entire sport of boxing? Because I think that would make a definitive statement for the Filipino senator.
I agree 100%. That's really, if Manny indeed wins, how impressive is he? How dominant is he? He needs to be dominant, especially if he's looking to get the big fights in the future, specifically a rematch with Mayweather.
Well, Steve, thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate it. The Hall of Famer joining us tomorrow here in Las Vegas. You will hear from the undercards. Oh, boy, do we got a scintillating pay-per-view card from top to bottom. You have Badu Jack going head-to-head against Marcus Brown. Also, Rashid Ward in undercard action, the only three-time United States Olympian. Jack Tapora, a champion from the Philippines, going head-to-head against Hugo Ruiz. It's the Philippines against Mexico. The undercard tomorrow here on the social media pages of Showtime Championship Boxing. It is Pacquiao. It's Broner. Showtime pay-per-view this Saturday from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. So see you tomorrow for the undercard press conference.
You know, certain fights motivate you differently. You know, in a fight like this, it motivates me so much just to push myself to the limit and just go in there and just give them all. Who wouldn't want to have a win like Manny Pacquiao on their record?
These two fighters have resumes that you're all familiar with. Both are multi-division champions, 8 divisions, 8 weight classes for Manny Pacquiao, 4 divisions for Adrian Broner, the youngest ever to do that.
It's going to be a tough fight. That's why I have to work hard and make sure that I'm well prepared for the fight in 100% condition. I love boxing. Boxing is my passion, and that's why I'm still here.
I just want to fight the best.
You're a barbarian, a savage.
It's been the same monopoly man at the top of Wall Street for 1,000 years.
Wall Street's not the roller coaster. You are.
Morning, go-getters.
Today, I finally get a son.
Doesn't speak a word of English.
Hey, no problemo. Come in peace.
Frank will be the new Hobo Local spokesperson.
I haven't won the competition yet.
We have the #1 show of late night, Deez and Mero, coming to Showtime in February. You gotta get us some new chairs. What about this?
Yeah, you wanna make a baby? Yeah.
We should make the set look like Intake at Rikers. Yeah. Who would you like to have on the show?
First guest, Kim's new baby, in utero interview.
Who's doing that in late night? Nobody.
I'm a baby, wah. We can get guests to polish our shoes while we interview them. Boom. Let's go make a TV show.
Get it, baby. And I'm taking this with me too, bro.
Bad baby mama, you can't take that away from me. I am always grinding cause my baby need to eat. Even when I'm done, I like the baddest that I eat. Cause a mother is a mother, but a mother is a queen. I'm a baby mama and I don't want your drama. Focus on me and I'm focused on the dollar. Focus on my family, the reason I go harder. You not talking family, then you not talking nothing. SMILF. Baby mother be the best. SMILF. I'm a baby mother, I'm a bad. To the moms!
Got a plan to start in that form. It's never boring.